How are we doing, guys? We are back again with another All These Team Opposition preview, and it is our good friend Dan Ardgreaves. How's things, mate? How are things with you?
Yeah, I'm well. From a football perspective, I've enjoyed the international break because we've not been playing. But yeah, ready for a big run of fixtures for Saints, definitely.
Excellent. Obviously, it's not been the season for either team. We managed to get our first win of the season, but Southampton's still winless in the league, I believe. I mean, not the best of starts, but performances maybe been a little bit better than results. I saw you against Man United, early on in the season. And you probably should deserve to win that game. Obviously, unlucky last week against Chelsea with the Ward-Prowse sending off. You're probably well placed to get a point there. I mean, are you concerned at this moment in time, Dan? Have you seen signs that they've turned around under Ralph?
Yeah, I'm not worrying yet. I think a lot of people have been disencouraged by the fact that we've only scored 4 goals. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yes, I think, fans have been disencouraged by the fact we've only scored 4 goals, but at the same time, we've looked better defensively. I think the best that I can kind of give you is from the 7 fixtures we've played this season so far, we've picked up 4 points. From those exact fixtures last season, it was 2. So I think we've improved. We've definitely looked better defensively, but as a result, the attacking side of things has kind of hindered a little bit. But we always knew it was going to be a really tough start when we were handed that fixture list. A couple of the games that traditionally we don't do well in, a couple of the big 6. So it was a tough start. So to get draws against the likes of Manchester United, Man City, West Ham, that was good. I think we would have drawn at Chelsea had Ward-Prowse not been sent off because we were managing the game really well. So look, it's not there's no time to panic yet, or it's not time to panic yet, I should say. But naturally, as I'm sure Leeds fans have done in the past, you do panic, or there are definitely some that panic. So we'll have to see. But yeah, this next run of 5 league games, huge, absolutely huge. We've got you guys, Burnley, Watford, Villa, and Norwich. Yeah, we've got to be winning, in my opinion, at least 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, so the next 3, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. Obviously, Wolves have picked up a little bit, but that's 3 teams who haven't started particularly well so far this season. Obviously, we got the win against Watford, which I thought was crucial going into that international break, because I think people really would have been getting nervous had we not won that game. But yeah, obviously, you talk about the attacking threat dropping a little bit this season. How much of that you're down to obviously losing? I'm going to say it. You probably heard this a million times all season. How much is that down to losing Mr. Daniel Ings to Villa? I mean, that's got a big part of it, surely.
Yeah, it is. It is a big part of it. I think it's also replacing him with a striker that was playing in the Championship last year. Now, don't get me wrong. Great signs from Adam Armstrong. He's had a few difficult games. He is getting adjusted to the league. But there are signs that he's going to be a great player for us. I think he just needs that second goal because he scored on the opening day and hasn't scored since. I think he just needs that second goal. And then in a run of fixtures that are obviously on paper more winnable, then we could be seeing or starting to see the better side of him. But his service hasn't been great. We haven't been too creative either. So I don't think you can put it down to Danny Ings too much. You look at it and it's like, wow, okay, sometimes Danny would score a goal out of virtually nothing. But I don't think he'd be that high up in the goal scoring tally charts if he was in the team still, because creatively we haven't been fantastic. Our wide men have struggled, and I think we focus more on being a bit of a more defensive outfit, which we've kind of done, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you've had actually a decent defensive record this season. Obviously, under Ralph Hasenhüttl, there's always been this association with Southampton not being the strongest defensively. Again, another thing you've probably heard a million times, obviously 9-0 defeats. That's something that obviously is put a lot on Ralph Hasenhüttl. But yeah, no, that's good to hear. In terms of you still back your manager. Obviously we hear the modern league fan, has kind of turned on the manager at this point. But no, to be fair, I think all 3 times I've spoken, you've been thoroughly backing off Ralph Hasenhüttl. But going into this game, I would probably argue that Southampton and Leeds have got their best players missing, probably the best players missing for both teams. Ward-Prowse for you guys. It looks like Rafinha has made a bit too much of an impression in Brazil, because it looks like he'll play tomorrow night. I don't know if you can believe it, Dan, but he's going to play tomorrow night for Brazil. How about that for organisation for the Brazilian FA? They're playing Uruguay tomorrow, 36 hours before the Southampton game. So logic would say Rafinha won't play, but logic and Rafinha don't tend to go together. It wouldn't surprise me if Rafinha comes off the plane in Southampton Airport and is on that pitch, but I can't see it, to be honest. But it still wouldn't surprise me if he does play, because he is an absolute legend of a man. But how big of a loss is Ward-Prowse for you guys, and how much of a boost is it from a Southampton point of view to not face Rafinha?
I'll answer that second question first. If he isn't to play, then yeah, obviously it's a big boost. He's fantastic. I'm a big fan of him. He's got me some good FPL points so far this season.
Everyone says that.
Sorry?
Everyone says that.
Oh, I know, and he's been class. But you can't just pinpoint one player. I think Leeds as a collective are a great side that gave us two really good games. Wow, I say two good games last season. I think it was first half us and both of them, second half Leeds, really. And obviously you guys were able to score the goals and get the wins. But you got Bamford, you got Click, you've got Stuart Dallas. I could Dan James. He scored a few goals against Southampton in the past, I believe. So I can't just pick one player. But from our point of view, it's going to feel so strange not having James Ward-Prowse on that team sheet, because he's I don't know the exact number, but it's over 100 games in the league in a row that he's played for us. It's a crazy stat. He's not missed a league game for over 2.5 years. Basically, I think it's every game bar maybe one or two under Ralph that he has played in the league. So, he's a massive miss for us. He's our captain. Granted, he hasn't had the best start to the season from his standards. He didn't really have a pre-season. He's kind of been in and out with a little bit of injury niggle, hence the lack of pre-season, but he was fit enough to play first games so far. Obviously, it was a late call up for England and scored the other night, albeit from a dodgy penalty, tapping in against Andorra.
They all count. They all count.
They all count. That's the things. And he got the recognition from Southgate to be called up as a replacement for Phillips, ironically. So it's a massive miss. But at the same time, Saints fans are definitely thinking this might be good for Prowse. In the long run, this might be good that he just gets that break. He won't want it. Obviously, he's our captain. He's dedicated. He signed another 5-year contract in the summer when Aston Villa was snooping around. But yeah, it's a big miss. But I think overall this season he's not been up to scratch yet.
Yeah, it's been one, isn't it? But just a couple of other things on Southampton specifically. I mean, looking at the Southampton team, am I right in saying that you've gone again with similar shape to last season, the 4-4-2? Because under Marcelo Bielsa, as we probably mentioned a few times in the opposition previews last time around, whenever a team plays two strikers against us or two centre forwards, we will always go with a back three shape. So again, can we expect Adams, Armstrong all together on Saturday, possibly?
Yeah, I think we will see two strikers up front. At the moment, it looks like Che Adams might miss this one as well. He had to withdraw from the Scotland camp, so we'll see how that goes. If he was, well, to be honest, this is another positive. Despite us being winless, we've got better squad depth this year. So we've got a few more options in that area. For me, from a personal point of view, I'd like to see Armando Broja get a start. We've signed him on loan from Chelsea. He's just turned 20, but lad looks fantastic. Looks like a really good prospect. Scored a couple goals, albeit against Newport in the cup, but he's been scoring for Albania as well. So I'd like to see him start if Adams can't, but I would definitely say it'll be Adam Armstrong and then it's someone else in that two at the front. But what I will say as well, if it's not working for us, Ralph's become a bit more inclined to change things around. At Chelsea, before the international break, we were losing 1-0, had a few goals against us as well. Disallowed VAR, could have definitely been out of sight, really. And Ralph took off Walcott and put on a midfielder in Ibrahima Diallo, put Romeu in as a centre back, and went for a back five, and it worked. And we were set to go and get a point. So I would not be surprised if the game's not going our way. Do not be surprised to see Southampton switch it up a bit more than you would have done potentially last season.
Okay. Someone I'm going to have to ask you, can we you've been asked about him a couple of times, is 𝘽𝙀𝙎 Livramento. I've been so impressed by him this season whenever I've seen him. Really fun to watch. Really fun. Another right back from Chelsea who's like really good at football, which it hurts me to say, but wow, he looks the real deal. I mean, how impressed have you been by him, Dan? Has he been your player so far this season?
Oh, he's been player of the season so far. Without a shadow of a doubt. It all came out of nowhere as well. You know, we like. I'll tell you my story from it. I remember like months before. We're talking halfway through last season. I'm just in a Saints group chat. We've got a guy who's likes his scouting, likes his football manager. He's like, oh, this Chelsea lad, he's decent. So okay, cool. Fast forward 6 months, Fabrizio Romano, Southampton set Livramento. It's like, yes. I'm like, who is he? And it's like 5 million. It's like, oh, okay, fine. Backup right back is either 5 million for an 18-year-old who's just won Chelsea's Academy of Player of the Year, or a £2.5 million loan fee for Brandon Williams. I think everyone knew what the preference was going to be. But no one saw the fact that Ralph was going to put him straight in. Kyle Walker-Peters had a good year last year. One of our better players in a disappointing.
He's left back now, isn't he? If I'm right in saying.
And this is the strange thing. And you can say, oh, good, we've got depth this year, but he's not left-footed. He's, if we're talking Kyle Walker-Peters, he has to be on that right-hand side. And unfortunately, he's lost his place because Livramento has been brilliant. He puts a good tackle in, he intercepts the ball well, he reads the game excellently. Maybe a little bit more work on the attacking side of the game, but that'll obviously come. He's 18 years old. We signed Romain Perraud from Brest. He was one of the better left backs in Ligue 1 last year for 12 million, and he's been benched now. And it's all a bit unfair, really. I think everyone wants to see a bit of Perraud. So Ralph's got.
Has he been that bad, Perraud?
No, he's not been that bad at all. He's not been bad, Oscar. He's been decent. I've liked what I've seen from him. He started. I think he definitely started the first 2 league games. He's had maybe 1 or 2 other starts as well. Crossing looks good, which we missed from Bertrand last year or the seasons before, because obviously he was signed as Bertrand's long-term replacement. Because Bertrand was with us for 7 years, so had to fill that void. So it's all a bit unfair, really, for him, because he's come to a new country, the Premier League, for a decent transfer fee from Southampton standards, and he's now on the bench for a right back. It's a strange one, but let's talk 𝘽𝙀𝙎. Yeah, brilliant. He's going to be some player.
Also got the best probably in the Premier League, to be honest, doesn't he? What a name that is as well, by the way. But now it's been interesting, obviously, for both teams this summer. I mean, what have you made to Leeds so far this season, Dan? I mean, it's not been a ideal start for us. I mean, do you think it's been as bad as what it seems?
No, you can't take too many conclusions from 7 games in the Premier League. I think from what I've seen, Leeds also had a little bit of a tricky fixture list. From what I've seen, it's a bit similar to Southampton. I feel like everyone might have been panicking a little bit. Game management from an outsider's point of view, maybe not the best. I've seen drop points, especially that West Ham game. Taking the lead, then losing 2-1. We've done it for ages. But no, I don't think you need to worry now. I think those 3 fixtures that you said, was it Norwich and who was the other one? Sorry,
Wolves. Wolves was the other game.
Okay, so those 3, yeah, that's where you kind of look at it and hope that you've just beaten Watford. Those are games that on paper really Leeds should be winning. That's where the season could start. So look, I maybe disappointed, maybe a little bit underwhelmed, but I wouldn't be worried for Leeds, not yet. Anyway,
I love that. I always ask that question just to make us feel better about Leeds. But we did get a really good win for the international break, and things do look better for Leeds United. Albeit this is going to be a tough game for us. I think it's a very tricky game going to Southampton. If I could push you a bit more, Dan, in terms of obviously not push you, but on James Ward-Prowse, I mean, who do you see coming in for Ward-Prowse? Will it be 𝙈𝙖𝙢 most likely?
Yeah, I think it will be 𝙈𝙖𝙢, and as much as I love Prowse, I'm really excited to see what 𝙈𝙖𝙢 can do in this run of games.
What type of midfielder is 𝙈𝙖𝙢 out of interest, just for our viewers in that lot?
He's defensive, but he's played when he's played in the cup or come on, it's been more of an 8. He was signed as more of a 6, but 𝘎𝙬 is naturally a 6. So I think you'll see Diallo in that 8 position. He's had a few good games, scored in the cup against Sheffield United. Since he's come down over from Brest, I've been impressed by him. He had some really impressive performances last year, albeit more in a defensive role. I'm not too convinced offensively yet, but we definitely haven't seen enough of him yet. And yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be his opportunity. There is a possibility Stuart Armstrong could be fit enough, and Ralph might opt to put him in the central position. But I think that would, anger Saints fans even more, because he's much better on that right-hand flank. Yeah, I think it will be Diallo, and even though we haven't got Ward-Prowse, it's a good opportunity for him, and I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, it's interesting. Because obviously 𝘎𝙗 was someone who Leeds were linked with. Obviously our left back search went on for a long, long time. There was a lot of different names linked with the club, and that lot. 𝘎𝙗 was probably was the front runner, to be honest, up until maybe kind of like May, June time, and then maybe just around the Euros, Junior Firpo came available, and we went for Firpo at the end of the day. Which, to be fair, I think the last couple of games he's really starting to get into the squad and really. Yeah, he's right in this team for me. Does Firpo? Is there anyone else from the Southampton team then, Dan, that we maybe will be less aware of, that we should be looking out for on Saturday?
I mean, from a defensive point of view, Mohamed Salassy's had a great start to the season. He's been a natural replacement for 𝘎𝙧 𝙎𝙬, who ironically hasn't had the best start to his time at Leicester, nor his Bertrand, which is quite, laughable for our side of things. But
was there a bit of controversy with them leaving?
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like, okay, you take our best defender from last season, he's not having the best start. But I'd say Mohamed Salassy's had a good start to the season, so he's someone to kind of look out for from a defensive point of view. I'd say. I mean, statistically speaking, Mohamed Elyounoussi been our best wide man so far, but that's not saying much. I mean, I would imagine he'll be starting on Saturday only because he scored 2 goals the other night for Norway. He's in good form internationally.
What side do you tend to play on, Dan? Is he left or right?
He will. That's a good question. It varies. I would say if Armstrong's fit enough to start, he will be on the left, but he's quite flexible in that sense. But then you've got Nathan Tella. A lot of fans have wanted to see more of him so far this season. Armstrong hasn't really played at all because of an injury, so we think he could be back starting this one, which we're all excited about. So there are a few names in there that could be easily on the bench or could easily start. But I would say those wide men, definitely Salisu, he'll be starting. Tino we've talked about, Diallo we've talked about, Adam Armstrong we've talked about. So yeah, I think those are probably the names that I haven't really mentioned that are worth noting.
Okay. Well, the 20-minute mark. I mean, is there any other Leeds players that you're looking out for in this team? In fact, maybe a better question: is there any Leeds players you think Southampton can get at, can target, and maybe you think that's a weaker side of the team? Or do you want to be more positive for Leeds and say there's other players you're worried about? I always make that kind of like you can take it whichever way you want. That question.
I mean, I said obviously Raphinha would be a big boost if he can't play for you guys on our side of things. I thought Dan James was a decent signing. I think he could be dangerous. Pace. I'm not too sure what Tino is going to be like if James is playing on that left-hand side. How he deals with bags of pace. I would definitely say, from what I've seen, I think we just need to be getting balls forward. To be honest, I'll be honest, I haven't watched much of Leeds, but I think we need to be getting balls forward and getting runs in behind and testing those centre backs and that whole back four as a whole. Because the way we're going to win this game, obviously, is by scoring goals, and we're not scoring at the moment. That's the thing. We're going to probably maybe get a dodgy goal, go 1-0 up and try and sit back. I think that's probably how it will go if we were to get 3 points from this one. I don't think we're capable of doing one of those games where it's just a basketball match where you know, either team tries to outscore the other with a 3-4 or something. We're just not capable of that right now. So I would say Saints need to just try and get balls in behind, make those good runs, make those positive runs, get balls in the box, and just test that defence. Because for me, it's the only way we're going to be scoring goals. You know, we haven't got our set piece specialist, so we're going to have to use the wide men, and we're going to have both our strikers, if we are playing with a 2 up front, have to have a good day.
And can I push you for?
You can. I'm not confident. I'll be honest. I'm not confident for this one.
I'd like to hear that.
I don't think this is the game where we get our first win, only basing off of the fact that we're probably playing you now at quite a bad time. You know, fresh off of a win. Okay, yes, we've had the international break. I just want to see a bit of improvement. You know, in the attacking areas. You know, we've been solid enough defensively. That's fine. It's about finding the balance now between attack and defending. So, you know, I will be positive slightly. I'm going to go 1-1. I think we can get something out of it. See, I'm lost for words now because we just don't know what to expect from Saints.
Could I just say, Dan, you're the first opposition fan this season to not say your team win.
That's how things are at the moment. You know, I will take the scrappiest 1-0, 2-1, 6-5 at all. You know, whatever it is, we just need those 3 points now. I just feel like this game, it just hasn't come at the right time for us. I think the Burnley game next week is where we might be seeing that win. Fingers crossed anyway. But yeah, I'll go for a draw. I'll stay semi-positive, but I don't think this is the one we get our first win.
Okay. Just remind us, Dan, where can we find you? Obviously, you've been up to lots of different things since we last spoke in May, which feels like an absolute ages ago when everything was glorious. To be fair, the sun's out. It wasn't pitch black like it is now. What have you been up to then the last sort of 5-6 months? And where can we find you?
I mean, we had the Euros. The Euros was a big thing. You can find. I mean, your best place to find me is Twitter at the moment at 𝘍𝙬 𝙎𝙢. Up to quite a bit. You know, the odd game here and there. Kind of getting. I don't know. I guess you can call me a freelance journalist or something like that. But yeah, if you want any nonsense in terms of Saints tweets and comments and written pieces and video or whatever, just go to my Twitter basically.
Okay, very good. Well, I can't thank you enough, Dan. Absolutely, thanks so much for coming on. I will leave Dan's Twitter and stuff to find him on in the description down below. And I guess we'll leave it there because we've got plenty of content coming out in the next couple of days. Chris and Scott are doing a pre-match preview of the game. I should have just said preview, a preview of the game. I'll probably have a couple of things out as well ahead of this game, as well as this video. And yeah, guys, there'll be plenty on match day as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Delighted to hit the 23,000 mark yesterday. Thanks so much for your support, guys, and that like button. Smash the comments as well with your thoughts going into this game, and keep it locked. We will see you later, guys. See you later.